Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Matt Rants. So today we're going to start this topic off by asking the question, is Nintendo going to stop making consoles? And I am going to do you guys a solid, do you guys a favor, you guys can pay me back whenever you want to, by answering that question right now and saying that no, they are not going to stop making consoles. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's talk about the facts. So the facts are, and by the way, this article will be listed down in the description box down below, and there are a bunch of other articles that exist as well that you could actually read up on if you don't want to trust my article. Now, there was an interview done with Nikkei, this was translated by Nintendo Everything, for the, this was an interview, by the way, with Nikkei and the current president of Nintendo, Shuntaro Furukawa. So, with Shuntaro Furukawa, he had said, this is his exact quote, and granted, yes, this is a translation, so you could say something was lost in translation, so maybe grab a Japanese friend of yours, someone who knows Japanese, who can speak English, and so they said, we, and this is referring to Nintendo, aren't really fixated on our consoles. Oh no, this must mean that if they're not fixated on it, that they're just going to get rid of them altogether. But here's the interesting thing. So when you actually read on and keep on going with the interview, you see that he says, at the moment we're offering the uniquely developed Nintendo Switch and its software, and that's what we're basing how we deliver the Nintendo experience on. That being said, technology changes. And then he goes on to say, we'll continue to think flexibly about how to deliver that experience as time goes on. So what he is saying is something that anyone in any business, frankly, should be saying. If things change, we will change. Whoa. No way. Now, why am I being this sarcastic, right? Like, Matt, just what are you doing? Why are you being this sarcastic? Because not only other YouTube channels, but other media outlets as well, some of them being mainstream, some of them being articles online, which you can say mainstream if you want to or not, have continuously talked about, based on articles like these, that I think are not biased in one direction or another necessarily, although even looking at the title of this article, it literally says, Nintendo says it might stop making consoles if the market changes. I don't think that's a bad title of an article. That's why I picked this one, because it tells you, hey, they might. But a bunch of other channels out there are basically saying, oh, hey, this is going to happen. No, this Nintendo Switch is not going to be the last console if the Switch continues to sell well. Yes, of course you could say, but what if it doesn't? But any good business would change over time. If something isn't working, you change, or at the very least you refine and adapt. Looking at how well the mobile market has been doing, whether we like it or not, that's why the Switch has combined both its handheld mode and a docked mode, like a normal everyday console like we've had over the last, 30 years plus. And now we can actually take that on the go. Yes, of course, Nintendo has had handheld. Hell, Sony had the PSP, and of course Sega had the Game Gear, Nomads, but still, point is that any company, any good corporation, if they are going to want to keep on going and keep on doing their thing, they are going to change up over time. So it's so silly that the CEO of the company, or the president, says, hey, if things don't look so good, we are going to change what we're doing. It's kind of like, yeah, of course, that sounds normal. Why would, he have to clarify that? But apparently he needed to, although technically he doesn't need to, because no matter what you say, someone online will just twist it to fit whatever agenda they want to, or whatever they want to say. So it's just really frustrating, because imagine, you see how many articles and how many people discussing this. Thankfully, other YouTubers have actually, like myself, have kind of pushed back on this and said, hey, no, this doesn't actually mean that Nintendo is stepping away from consoles if consoles are selling well. And right now the Switch is selling very well. So it is just so silly just to sit back and to hear all these different news articles saying, well, I guess Nintendo's leaving the console industry. It's like, no, that's actually the exact opposite of what the CEO said, or the president said. Heck, when you continue reading this article, this specific article, it literally says Nintendo has already sold around 23 million Switch units and is expected to sell another 17.3 million throughout 2019, so it's not as if it's going to stop making home consoles anytime soon. Because it's not. If they keep on selling, of course. Again, yes, you could say, but Matt, who is this for? right? If you know, you're reading this, you're like, yeah, but I don't need to know any of this. Who is this for? Why was this even talked about in the first place? Well, here's the thing. So I know that we as consumers, we have access to so much information now. I mean, having things translated like this at the tip of our fingertips, we sit back and we're like, wait, but if I'm not, if you know, if I'm reading this, why does it matter to me? The thing is, it might not actually matter to us. This is something that clearly, in my opinion, that Furukawa is saying just to the world, right? And I say to the world, not just to you and I, the consumers, but also to investors, to people who might be worried about where the console industry is going and where handhelds are going and where video games are going. People who have a lot of money, who have big pockets and a lot of money to burn. This is Furukawa saying, hey, you know, worst case scenario, we will always change where we're going. We will always change what we need to. And all because, to be fair, Nintendo has been doing that for a very long time. They didn't start off making video games. They started off making trading cards, not even Yu-Gi-Oh style. In the if I remember correctly, the 1889. That's yeah, it's in the article itself. They were founded as a playing card company in 1889. They've been doing this for a while before video games were even a thing. So it isn't as if this is, Nintendo is new to change necessarily. But at the end of the day, I only bring this up because, again, to you and I, to the consumer, we're like, why does this literally matter to us at all? We're just having fun playing our video games. Why does it matter? Again, I've talked about this before with other announcements and things like that, either with Sony or like PS5 stuff and things like that. I've talked about it on other Matt Rants, and I've said at the end of the day, even though we're talking about it and we're hearing about it, it's just because of how easy it is to access all of this different information. In 1889, I don't think other people were hearing, or rather, let's say 1895, people were hearing about, Nintendo's trading cards and other, behind the scenes activities. That was just between Nintendo and anyone who was actually in that business at that time. Anyone who was, putting money towards the trading cards and things like that. So really, at the end of the day, this is just a non-story. Now, why am I talking about this, Matt? If it's a non-story, why are you talking about it? Well, because I just don't want there to be more videos saying that Nintendo is doomed, or the video game console industry is doomed, or Nintendo's moving out of that industry, rather than one saying, hey, how about you read the articles, right? How about we read the articles instead of just jumping on little bits and clips and just making entire videos about just that? How about potentially reading the entire interview? Now, I will admit I have not looked at the entire interview, but no YouTuber that I've seen that's been discussing, and it looks like Nintendo's over, has talked about anything past these few words anyway. Again, they just twisted it to fit their own agenda, their own narrative, whatever it might be. So, it's really frustrating because, again, we would hope that because information has been so democratized now, how news has, how we have platforms like YouTube and Twitch and other media platforms that allow us to all have our voices heard, we would hope that things would be better than mainstream media. But sometimes people just want those clicks irregardless. Doesn't matter if you're big, doesn't matter if you're small. You want those clicks, and then you just kind of twist the story. Maybe you don't realize it, to be fair. I'm not going to say that everyone is being intellectually dishonest, but there are definitely some that are, and that's really frustrating because that makes us all look bad. Anyway, so thank you all so much. Love you all. Take care. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, you can still like and subscribe either way. Also, if you dislike the video and subscribe, that's cool too. I won't judge you. If you hate watch us, that's fine too. All right, guys. So, again, love you all. Take care, and tune in next time for another episode of Matt Rants. Also, tell me what you think about this story in the comment section down below. All right, guys. So, see ya.